Hello and bienvenue to Life's Questions and Lessons, the Self-Reflection Podcast. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited that you are here with me today. Let's get started with today's question. How can you overcome the I don't have enough money mental barrier? How can you overcome the I don't have enough money mental barrier? So we are exploring our If You Could Design Your Life from Scratch series. We are in full swing. So if this is your first time listening to the podcast, I highly recommend you start with our intro episode to the series just to get you grounded and centered in understanding about what we're talking about. But today's topic is really close to my heart. It's definitely something that I've struggled with. We're basically breaking down some of the mental and emotional barriers that really stand in our way when we're trying to change anything, right? And if you're talking about designing your life from scratch, you trying to change some stuff. So there's going to be a whole lot of mental and emotional barriers. So I really wanted to break down the most common in my life that I've heard in my workshops, that I host, or just literally normal conversations with other people. So I'm kind of going through a few of those to get you started. And so this one in particular is probably at the top of the list. I'd say the time, which was our last episode, and then this I don't have enough money mental barrier. And the reason why I say it's a mental barrier is I'll provide that answer within this example. So let's say you were exploring one of the questions we had previously, what activities light you up in the morning, right? And you said to yourself, because I'm like, yes, get in full imagination, and childlike awe and wonder, right? And so you said, man, you know what lights me up? Painting. Oh, I would love to have this huge canvas and all the watercolors and oil and this. And you just, oh my gosh, you were so excited to paint. And then you went, oh, but I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money for paint. I don't have enough money for the canvas and all the things that I need. That is what I mean by a mental barrier. You might not have enough money for all the things that I just said that you need to paint with. But the question to explore after that is, what do I have money for, right? What do I have? What can I do? So maybe you can't get I'm really bad with dimensions. So maybe you can't get a 6 foot, tall canvas, but can you go to the dollar store and get a piece of paper and some watercolors? It's really just reframing things. Like, what can you do in the skin you're in right now? And as I mentioned, this is definitely something that I have to remind myself of, because in my, activities that I love to do is travel. And travel is very expensive. Yo, girl got expensive taste. So I can't just, hop up on a first class flight to Europe every time I get the itch. My aunt says I got hot feet, right? But what can I do? What can I do? I love to travel, but what is it about travel that lights me up? Being in a new culture, speaking a different language, looking at all of the beautiful architecture and art and eating the food and just experiencing something that is different for me. Guess what I can do right here in San Francisco? I can go look at a place that, has roots in a different country, that has food, that has, a fusion of whatever. The point is, right? And I hope this is what you're getting. I can do some of that. It might not look exactly like me hopping on a first class flight to wherever, but it's the experience I'm looking for. It's the feeling of awe and wonder. And I can do that with the current money that is in my bank account. So really hope this exploration of mental barriers is helpful for you, because it kind of opens the doors to way more possibilities than you probably think you have right now. So those are the questions I had on my heart today. Really, really hope this episode has been helpful for you. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you are listening to my words. And if this episode was helpful for you, please share it. And until next time, take care.